Welcome back. It's that time we say hello to Mike Eppel, see how his weekend was. Mike, how are you?
Best laid plans.
Uh-oh. What happened?
It got cold.
That's what happened, the weather. I know, it felt like
Seriously.
waking up yesterday was not good. Cold
in the
day.
shed and get bikes out and all. And then I looked at the forecast and went, no. Stay inside.
Called it an indoor day. There was a lot to watch. We'll break it all down in a little bit. Yeah. There's not a second that you weren't entertained, that's for sure.
Channel surfing. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you are watching the markets today. Good, bad, ugly.
Actually, stocks are having a pretty good time of things this morning. And I'm watching, in fact, the Toronto stock market start the week very close to an all-time record high. It's been pretty good if you've got money in the Canadian market this year. You know, Melanie, though, we talk about, okay, what are more safe investments, so to speak? Well, bonds, those sound relatively risk-free. Not so this year. It is the worst start to any given year for the bond market because, well, what's been going on? Interest rates at central banks have been going up, and bond yields have been skyrocketing. Not, when we're talking about historically high levels or anything of that nature, but the amount and the speed at which bond yields have gone up. And this is leading to a pretty interesting dynamic here for the market because we don't typically see the volatility in bonds, but that's what it is when we've got central banks talking about raising interest rates, 5 or 6 times over the course of a year. And the next move for the Bank of Canada could actually be a full 0.5%. We're starting to hear some of those signals from Bank of Canada officials. So it's it's difficult, certainly for fixed income investors. They can't get GICs still pay low interest rates. Bonds, typically are where you'd go, but it has been anything but so far this year.
Okay, Mike, looking at the calendar, we know it is springtime. I know the weather doesn't feel like it, but that means possibly ramping up of real estate. What's available right now?
A few more houses look to be on the market, just anecdotally speaking. I did drive around a little bit this weekend and saw some for sale signs, and haven't seen that in quite some time. But just talking to some people in the mortgage market, because of bond yields going up as much as they have, the banks have been adjusting their mortgage rates for fixed lending terms. And, they're looking around, 3% plus at this point. Just a couple of months ago, you could have locked in for 2% or less. So we've seen a big adjustment in the mortgage market. People are getting into and signing, the pre-approvals, so to speak, for whether it's variable or fixed lending. But do not be surprised if we see a very busy market here because, again, borrowing costs are going up and a few more properties are coming up on the market. So it'll be interesting to see if prices adjust at all.
All right, finally for you, we know the federal budget right around the corner. This week, hopefully we learn a date.
Should. I mean, we're expecting it sometime early next month. And I think if I check the calendar correctly, the end of the month is actually this week.
Yes, it is.
What? How'd that happen again? Anyway, no, Krista Friedland should be giving some sort of an official date for the federal budget, which is going to be interesting following the Don't Call It a coalition deal between the Liberals and New Democrats and the spending initiatives that should be in that document. Maybe a little bit more accounting for the child care deal. That we're going to hear this signed into effect this morning between the Trudeau government and the Ford government here in this province. Also this week, Melanie, will get some jobs data. We'll start to see some real estate statistics as well. And I just want to quickly mention, Bitcoin this morning is way up, $47,000. It was up 3,000 on the weekend, up more than 4,000 last week. All of a sudden, the cryptocurrencies are back in favor, and I'm seeing a lot of chatter about NFTs, whatever those are, in the morning trade on Twitter.
Are you being silly? You know what they are. All right. Have a great day, Mike. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Stay warm.